I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 25th, 2015. A drone from Gaza crashed into Israeli territory today. The unmanned aerial vehicle was identified by IDF forces as soon as it was launched in Gaza. IAF jets scrambled in response, but the drone crashed near the border fence with Israel on the Israeli side before any action was taken. Terror group Hamas claimed responsibility for the drone. The Times of Israel cites a Hamas spokesman claiming that several UAVs were launched to, quote, perform special tasks deep within Israel. Soldiers from the IDF's engineering corps now have the drone in their possession and are investigating the incident. The Palestinian Authority has taken its first step in bringing charges against Israel, accusing Israel of war crimes during last summer's war with Hamas in Gaza. The PA submitted files it claims are evidence of the alleged violations to the International Criminal Court in The Hague today. Israel firmly denies the PA's allegations, accusing Hamas of continuous indiscriminate rocket fire at Israeli civilians and the terror groups using Palestinian civilians as human shields during last summer's conflict. Israeli police are investigating whether the fatal beating of an Israeli farmer was a terror attack or a criminal incident. 70-year-old David Bar Kapara was able to call police after suffering severe injuries, allegedly at the hands of two illegal workers suspected to have been two Palestinians who then fled the scene. Bar Kapara, however, succumbed to his wounds shortly after. The incident took place in Moshav Pedaya in central Israel, where Bar Kapara was working his fields. A trade bill which includes legislation opposing the BDS, Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions campaign against Israel, was passed by the U.S. Senate yesterday. The Trade Promotion Authority legislation includes an amendment by Congressman Peter Roskam that discourages actions by potential U.S. trading partners that discourage trade between the U.S. and Israel. It also looks to remove state-sponsored, unsanctioned foreign boycotts against Israel. After the passage of the bill, Roskam said it was the robust response needed to the recent wave of boycotts originating in Europe against Israel. He said Congress will not be complicit in the marginalization of our ally Israel by watching these attacks from the sidelines. Instead, he said, we have decided to fight back against the BDS movement and ensure the continued strength of the U.S.-Israel relationship. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder praised the Senate for taking what he called a strong stand against the growing vilification of Israel. He said the Roskam Amendment was a major defeat for BDS, saying it upholds the principle that those who seek to harm the Jewish state cannot subvert free global commerce for their own perverse political agenda. The bill, which already passed in the House of Representatives, can now be signed into law by President Barack Obama. Many Jewish organizations will dedicate this Shabbat to one of solidarity with the African American community after the shooting deaths of 9 worshipers at the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina last week. Jewish groups from the conservative, Reform Orthodox, and Reconstructionist movements released a statement earlier this week saying they would address the issue of racism in society and the rejection of hateful extremism at their synagogues this Friday night and Saturday. Rabbi Stuart Weinblatt leads Congregation B'nai Tzedek in Potomac, Maryland. He is also president of the Rabbinic Cabinet of the Jewish Federations of North America, which is part of the initiative. Weinblatt said of the effort, we hope to convey our support to the African American community nationwide and show all that we will not stand for violent acts driven by hatred. Other Jewish organizations who have endorsed the call to action include the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the Union for Reform Judaism, the Rabbinical Assembly, the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, the Rabbinical Council of America, the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College, the American Jewish Committee, the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, and Hillel. And looking now at our programming for tonight, Thursday, June the 25th, At 7 o'clock, a panel reflects upon American Jewry's strengths and weaknesses today and into the Jewish future, with the American Jewish Committee's Stephen Boehm, Hebrew Union College's Jewish Institute of Religion's Stephen Cohen, UJA Federation's Elisa Kirshan, and moderator Jack Wertheimer of the Jewish Theological Seminary. That is from Bethel Synagogue of New Rochelle, New York. At 8:30, a panel discussion on the Pew Report followed at 9 o'clock with Mark Golub, who sits down with journalist Tuvia Tenenbaum on L'chaim. And at 10 tonight, Eisenhower Institute fellow at Gettysburg College, Avi Melamed, gives an in-depth look at international relations in the Middle East with organizational psychologist Joyce Silberstang. That is presented by the AJC of New York. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, In the News features Eric Yaffe, former president of the Union for Reform Judaism and a columnist in Haaretz and the Huffington Post. Yaffe addresses the UN report on the war on Gaza and the controversy created by Michael Oren's new book, Ally, which criticized President Obama. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 25th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.